Hello and welcome back, my fellow grudge bearer. Heir of Grudges here, and I hope you're ready to settle one here. Wintertooth is here, and Thorgrim has got to put them down. And I don't know if do we write them in the book and then mark it out of the book, or do they just stay forever in the book? And you'll tell me what you think. But we do have our cannon here. Of course, we got Grape Shot there. I have a couple of Goblin Hewers, so any single entity or large entities like these wolves or the Lords should be easy to take down. Let's get in here and fight this. We are about to collide with the forces of chaos. I've deployed my troops a good ways back to try and maximize my gun capability. I'm going to move my steam gyros in, which basically are brimstone guns, so they've just kind of switched on each other. I'm actually going to... What is this? Marauder, great weapon. Let's dump these guys with the... Oh, I don't want my gyrocopters to sit there and get hit by those hunters. They'll lose a lot of hit points real quick. We don't want that. Alright, we got the Zephyr 42 pounders fired. Caused a little extra damage there too. Basically, I'm just trying to punish these guys for wanting to sit back here and camp. We'll try and hang out right outside of their range and bombard them with the steam gun. Who's hitting me here? They're not in range. I don't understand what was shooting that other copter of mine, because we were definitely outside of range. Like, I'm not inside of anybody's red circle here. Yeah, someone's throwing crap at me. Is there a hidden? Did even kill the gyro. It almost looked like it was coming from the spearmen. That's weird. Unless they have a Vanguard deploy hunter or something, which I guess is possible, and I just forgot about it. I don't really know for sure, but we were getting hit from something right behind those spearmen. It shouldn't have been any of those other units because they were out of range. I'd love to shoot those skin wolves, but they're probably going to be covered by the range of these Marauder horsemen over here. But those skin wolves would be an excellent target for me. Okay, their reinforcements are probably about to show up. Yeah, a few seconds. I think they're getting a little bit irritated at my gyrocopters, which is what I'm aiming for. Look, they're doing it again right there. They were outside of range, but throwing at me. That was weird. There was like a couple of Marauder horsemen tossing stuff at me, even though they were outside of range. Look, they're doing it again. They're not inside range. Y'all can see it right there. I'm gonna try and pull these guys across my artillery. I don't want my Goblin Hewers to fire at will. I'm actually gonna turn them off fire at will. Get up here, you cheaters. I also don't understand how they're keeping up and throwing the stuff at me. My gyrocopters have a 15 speed faster, but somehow those guys were kind of keeping pace with me and throwing at me from outside of range, so that was really rather strange. Maybe the shape of the unit, like the circle is whenever it's perfect, but maybe the shape of the unit was doing that or something. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of some explanation. Let's switch over to Grape Shot and see if we can pop that Marauder horseman out here. Hopefully we don't get any friendly fire, because Grape Shot would decimate our own ranks, and we don't want to do that. So hopefully the angles look good here. I think it does. There we go. Ooh, goodbye. Goodbye. Gotta love that Grape Shot. Okay, I'm gonna... Thorgrim is kind of standing back here. He's acting as a shotgun bait eventually. We're just trying to bait guys into range of our... Let's bring our hammers up here. Let's take our cannon. I'm gonna pick a new target with the Marauder hunters out there. Thorgrim is a little bit beat up, but he should be okay. I'm gonna buff up all my missile stuff here. I'm gonna see if we can smoke bomb the enemy lords, slow them down a little. Oh yeah, we're getting some nice hits here. And then we've got enemies coming up our flank. Skin wolves. Oh, we got skin wolves into our Goblin Hewer over here. That was not what I intended. Fortunately, the skin wolves... I mean, the Goblin Hewer can protect itself to a degree, but they're a little bit heavily matched here. I didn't keep as good an eye on that flank as I should have. Hopefully we're gonna... It's 2 units of wolves. I'm gonna get in right behind them, and I brought in some additional slayers. I need to turn this way and cut down those Marauder horsemen. There we go. I'm gonna try and hurry my way through these skin wolves over here. And then let's use our goblin hewer to kill off some skin wolves in this direction. We're still doing good up front. I'm gonna actually move these units just a little bit to the flank here. I want to try and keep these units in a good firing. Yeah, look at that, boy. We just murdered that wolf unit there. I'm gonna just take this unit and go ahead and attack here, and I'm gonna take out these units on my flank. Okay, we got rid of the skin wolves that were harassing our flank. We're gonna need to stay after them. Let's take our cannon. I'm gonna switch back into standard shot fire here. Okay, we have one. We've driven the enemy off. I took a little bit more casualties than I wanted to, but it really wasn't that bad. I've got our copters. These can fire while moving. Let's just get some target practice on the way. Well, we've also got these Brotherhood of Grimnir, which should be relatively quick. They ought to be able to keep up with most of this Norscan infantry and get some free kills on the way out the door. I'm bringing the copters over, and we'll also tear some of these guys up. So let's do that. Like I said, we'll just kill a few of these folks on the way out. And, oh yeah, these guys are going to start cleaning house over here. Let's go up, kill some of these hunters. Yeah, they're already up over 100 kills. The Doomseekers are pretty amazing. I see there we got some good damage done on these guys with their steam gyros before they were able to get off the map. So again, just trying to rack up a few freebies here. All right, we picked up a Talisman of Endurance at the end of that, which is a pretty, I mean, it's not an amazing one, but it's a pretty good low tier thing to, or what do you call it? Like, is it, I think it actually is a talisman, it's the name of them. We're gonna take the replenishment here because we had some units that were kind of low. And of course, I accidentally got that Goblin Hewer a little beat up. So we're gonna send those guys packing. We were successful there. And then now we're gonna just take over the settlement. If I auto-resolve, nothing's gonna die. So let's go ahead and take that. Occupy it. We can start replenishing a little. Yep, now we'll get some replenishment here, which will be nice. Let's go into Thorgrim. We are working on his skill points to get over here to Inspirational Leader, which of course will increase that casualty replen, and ultimately we can unlock Inquiring Mind, which will drop our army upkeep some, and we need to come back over here. We're gonna have to clear out our homelands just a little to get rid of some of the folks here. And then remember, we had pulled up a new army with Grombrindle, but we were sending Malakai to fight against Tamarkan because we've seen how powerful he is, and we're going to need a significant force to deal with Tamarkan. All right, we finished our guilds research, which I think was down here, construction duty. Let's see what other type of stuff. Because it's subsidies. I mean, construction reduction is kind of nice. Underway trade caravans. That's certainly not bad either. We don't have that underground network at the moment. Population surplus from recaptured settlements. Grunny's blessings. Oaths of loyalty. That one would be pretty darn good right here. Oaths of loyalty. It's going to take 500 oath gold. Let's see, include related families. Lord recruit rank. That one's not that amazing. Just kind of looking at some of these to see what our best bet is. So we are using a good number of thunders. We're using a good number of cannons. So let's just take a look. We got superior black powder here, which makes a lot of sense. And we have the oath gold for it. And then we've got renowned Deadeyes and iron price here. I think we should do all of these because that will give us a very nice buff to our firearms. And you all know me, I love me some good firearms action in Total War Warhammer. It's basically Total War Napoleon Hammer for me, and I am fine with that. Now, as far as our missions up here, we are working on the next adventure. It says fight 5 battles in a region with mountain and wasteland climate. So we just completed this and actually went beyond. So that should be completed. And I believe, well, actually there's another tick mark up here. We may have to complete 4 of these. Fight Goblin Search Party? It says your scouts report a notorious night goblin on the prowl, well known for hatching herder. Where is that one? Oh, we can. I don't know if it's something we can teleport to, but it's a ways off to the south. So we'll look at that so we get a chance. And then what else do we got here? Kill units with Goblin Hewer. That one's slowly adding up. We're up to 521. So, I mean, honestly, we're doing a pretty good job of heading towards these on completion, except for this one, because there's no greenskins around at the moment. So we haven't been fighting against greenskins because of the obvious reason that they're not here. So that does make a pretty big difference when they're not here to be killed. Let's get the Zuthbar. 42 pounders. I do have a good bit of gold. I'm trying to see if there's any more important upgrades or defenses or anything else like that that we should try and throw down. We've got a decent defense at Karak Vlag. This port also has iron available, but it needs to be guarded, and I'm kind of thinking we might increase the garrisons here because this could be a valuable settlement for me. Yeah, I think that could be a valuable settlement for me. But, I mean, it's a little bit of risk there because we do have enemies around. And then I wanted to do some recruiting here. And that would work best if we were able to upgrade this all the way as well. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to go ahead and end our turn and see what we get. Speaking of the giant Pimple Lord, apparently he extremely conveniently arrived just moments ahead of Malakai's army. I mean, just mere moments, so that Malakai wouldn't be here to defend this. And of course he's going to win. So I can't do much about that. He's just going to sack the settlement and take off running, but we're going to catch and kill him here shortly. So I don't really know what he thought the purpose of that was, but it's not going to end well for him. I suppose it's possible that he couldn't see my army on the other side of the settlement. And if the AI couldn't see my army, then this might make some sense, which is, hey, he came up and significantly weakened what could have become a stronghold for me. But that said, if he could see my army, which again, I'm not sure, if he could see my army, then that was an incredibly stupid move, because now he's left himself even weaker and more vulnerable to Malakai's very capable force here. Not to mention, he is worth a lot of grudges. So, I mean, I'm fine with this. Again, I don't know if this was a miscalculation or what on their part. It says we're going to take medium casualties. I think that's highly unlikely, but let's see how many cannonballs it takes to take down a toad dragon, shall we? All right. Maggot McPukeface does have his toad dragon. He's going to be pretty powerful. He's got some Centigores with throwing axes, and we're going to have to keep an eye out for those because they will be quite effective against my gyrocopters. He is not going to get any reinforcements. I will get settlement reinforcements, though I'm not really concerned about settlement reinforcements. What I'm going to attempt to do here is to just irritate the crap out of him and see if we can force an assault, and it looks like that's already coming to fruition. I've basically positioned... Whoa, I forgot about the stupid bombardment. How annoying. He has this bombardment where he could just take a giant Nurgle dump all over you from all the way across the map, and it's just absolutely lethal, and you get very little time to dodge it. And I have to say, like, it's one of the most annoying army abilities to have to face off against. I'm sure it makes things more fun when you're playing as Nurgle, but it is obscene and annoying to play against because you really can't do much about it. You just get crapped on, and if you're lucky, they'll target a bad unit, and you can kind of move out of the way. But if you're in a less fortunate position, you're gonna just take a lot of damage, like we did there. So, like, we basically lost a Thunderer, like we lost 3/4 of a Thunderer unit to that obscene bombardment. All right, just get my unit set up. I've got Slayer pirates kind of holding up my flank. I'm trying to pull these plague drones in here and get them shot up. Here comes my reinforcements that I don't really need nor want. We're gonna target the toad dragon. Yep, there we go. And then I'm gonna also bring the Thunder Barge in right on top of all this. They do have the throwing axes, but it'll also act as a nice distraction. And I've got all the cannons targeting the Thunder Barge. And let's just bring in all these units. We'll just put them back here in the back. All right, so the Thunder Barge is acting a distraction. We can use this harpoon on one of their units as well. Oh man, those rot flies got wrecked. I need the gyrocopters to kind of fall back a little. We're doing good damage to Tamarkan. I'm going to target him. And let's kind of see what happens here. I have some guns positioned behind the lines that I'm hoping... Tamarkan's going to be like every other Nurgle character, probably going to have obscene hit points. There he goes. All right, so we're going to target Tamarkan with the guns. We're going to target him with the gyros. I'm going to bring my shotguns back behind the line and target him with those as well. I'm keeping an eye on Felix and Gotrek. All right, there we go. Yeah, the Skin Wolves can't get around my flanks. So we should be good. We do have some chariots over here that concern me a little bit, but I'm really trying to focus all my fire into Tamarkan because he can do tremendous damage on that Toad Dragon. He's still got 6,000 hit points. Like, it looks like he's almost dead. Dude still has 6,000 hit points. That is gross. I have to use this on someone else. What? Oh. I think it's on an artillery piece. Forgot. Let's use the cluster bomb over here. All right, we are about to get rid of Tamarkan finally. I say that. He's almost down to only 1,000 hit points. Thunder Barge, fortunately, putting in some work for us. Let's turn our Slayer Pirates around and shoot Tamarkan. That dude is tough. He was eating cannon fire this entire time, too. Let's bring these Doom Seekers in. A little help. All right, there we go. We finally took him out. He had pushed through our line. Obviously, he's going to have massive girth. All right, those Centaurs trying to push through, too. They're going to get met by Doom Seekers. Thunder Barge up 130 kills. And there we go. So we have taken the enemy out. What is this right here? Exalted Hero on one of the new mounts. Or no, it's not a new mount. It just looked like a different color there. I didn't quite catch that. I'm gonna turn on the Thunder Burner and come cruising back this way, see if we can do some damage to that thing on the way out the door as well. All right, so that's good. We sent Tamarkan packing. His army is pretty tough, but apparently we are tougher. So I will see you all back on the battle map. All right, so we were able to succeed. There's not a lot of Oath Gold in it for me. I do like the extra gold, and we are in our own territory, so we should replenish at a decent clip. So I'll go ahead and take this. All right, so Tamarkan pushed back. And it says stolen from the enemy. Bolos? So, this must be some kind of bug. I have DY agent name? What? I have no idea what that is. Stolen from the... It's like we stole a person from the enemy? I don't understand what just happened there.
Malakai Makaisson.
Okay, let's get a upgrade point here. So Malakai, let's go with, we could do Reassuring Presence, which helps with attrition. That could be good, going to Nurgle territory, but also having all of our troops ready to fight, and I think Lightning Strike also could be very useful here. Let's go ahead and finish off this Nurgle army. It says we're not going to lose anything on the auto-resolve, so I'm going to do that. And now we're going to... It's only one Oath Gold. I'll go ahead and... the replenishment's fairly negligible as well, but I guess we'll take it. So, gain some good victories there. And we should replenish rather quickly. I'm considering whether I should change up this army some. We only have just standard Dwarf Warriors here. I wonder what else we can recruit. I could get Longbeards, which would be a nice upgrade. We need tier 5 on the airship. That's going to require 16 growth, which we're not there yet. And it's also going to require 10,000 gold. We could do this upgrade, which would allow us to recruit basically any artillery we want. That one's 8,000 gold. This one here would give us better airship crew growth. It also helps with attrition and then casualty replan, which that seems helpful here as well, especially since we could be going into enemy territory. So let's go ahead and make that upgrade. And then this army needs to come in and find a place to replenish. We're going to need to get ready to face off against some forces from Archaon, which we are not quite ready to do. But hopefully we'll be able to handle. Forbidden Citadel is going to get wrecked by these... Huh? Are they going to get wrecked? This is a Chaos Uprising that looks like it already happened. So maybe they won't get wrecked by it. Looks like we can make it to Winterpire. Take another settlement off Throg and weaken him. We missed this one back here, which I would love to get because it has obsidian, but we also need to get back and kind of reclaim some stuff in the Giant Home Mountains. We are spread far and wide, and we just don't have the armies to cover it at the moment.
Denied.
We really need to get over here and take out that army, which we are fairly close to doing. This is where we kind of could use some help from allies, maybe coming up here to war against the people that we're fighting. Sending armies this direction, it would certainly be helpful. But at the same time, like, I just can't count on them to actually do it. Look at that, we completed a third one here, which means that we do need a fourth completion up here. We're almost there. And this Goblin Hewer mission is not far off, which would allow us to complete this this battle. And so it says Legendary Battle. We get an Arachnarok Trophy. Enables poison attacks on the assigned Slater unit and stock. And then it says Army ability number of uses. The Spear of Grungni. Okay, we get an extra Spear of Grungni in each battle. So that would be awesome. Not an amazing gift, but, you know, it's a pretty good one. We'll take it. That Spear of Grungni is pretty nice. And this army is going to be ready on the next turn. So let's go ahead and end our turn. Once we take care of the skill points for Thorgrim, which he can now start replenishing quicker as well. Let's go with Blade Shield here. Never a bad thing to have melee defense. Same thing here. Double that back into Blade Shield.
Throne bearers! Let's
And we're working on Requisition over here, which gives more ammunition to our army. Yeah, we definitely want that replenishment with Thorgrim's army because the replenishment's rather slow at the moment. Alright, Karak Doom has finished, and again, recruiting might be important to me here because we're going to be facing Archaon. I've got a building that can get some recruitment done here, and then if we build something here that's useful as well, there's Rangers. Bugman's Rangers would be really cool, but a little bit difficult to get to those. Steam Gyros could be handy in this army and would be useful in just about any fight. What else would that give me if I go up that road? So the Steam Gyros to the Brimstones, eventually Thunder Barge, which would be cool. That's a long ways up there. Hammers and Iron Breakers if I go up this tree. Slayers, Slayer Pirates. Thunderers. Thunderers are always useful, I feel like. If you have a decent infantry line and some Thunderers to back them up, then you can mow down, you know, special targets as long as you can get a line of sight on them. Which, that's, you know, sometimes questionable depending on what you're trying to shoot. Doomseekers are amazing, but man, they're expensive. Those guys can really slice and dice through some infantry. I mean, honestly, Quarrelers are pretty nice. They just don't have the armor piercing, and you do face a lot of armor against Chaos, and so it definitely has me thinking that these guys have Shield Breaker, though, and that could be handy. I kind of feel like we need to bring in some Thunderers. I can't recruit them locally yet. I just got a bunch of shielded infantry along with the Longbeards and Norgrimlings to kind of hold the line. If we had a good gun line... Oh, we're going to need artillery. Right now we're using a couple of Grudge Throwers, but ideally we really need cannons back here. And then we need to replace those... Grudge Throwers, I think, with the cannons, because the cannons have Grape Shot, and they'll just outperform a Grudge Thrower on every level. So we'll start the recruiting, and we'll remove the excess units that we no longer need when we get there. So let's go ahead and end this turn. We made it through the turn-in without further incident. These forces are recruiting with Grombrindle. We can mess with them more later. And then we've got the forces for Malakai ready to go. We're going to retake the Great Skull Lakes and then the fort, and then we're going to head off into Tamarkan's territory. With his army destroyed, I think we will probably have a leg up on them, but we've yet to really see the full extent of what they're capable of, so we don't know for certain exactly how that's going to work. We need to rebuild this because it was destroyed previously. With the Great Skull Lake, I might rebuild there as well. We're going to get some nice growth from it and casualty replen. This army can't really move anywhere. It's just waiting on recruitment. And then I already moved this army underground, and we're just going to wait to move it further across. So honestly, we're kind of just stuck here needing to end another turn. I do have some oath gold, but it's not as much as I need in total to really go forge much from a rune standpoint. So maybe we'll keep saving and get some character or unit runes here soon. Shameful display. What is this, Shogun 2? I don't want minus control, so I guess we're going to make him take the oath. I mean, everybody's got to take the oath sooner or later. All right, I'm going to move up further on these Norskins and retake my port there, and then we'll try and retake Frozen Landing. They are headed off to other settlements because they know if they stick around, I'm going to catch them, so they're just looking to move off and be annoying. And be annoying, I'm sure they can accomplish. That's a mission that the AI is familiar with. I actually am going to go underground, and we're going to trap these guys and get rid of them, since we're kind of just waiting to hear more from Archaon up north, which we will. We're going to have issues up there soon enough. That's fully expected. Let's go over here to the fort, and oh, yep, there's Tamarkan's next army. I can see it behind there. It's got Epidemius in it. So I am using a recruit defeated legendary lords mod. I'm not entirely familiar with Tamarkan's mechanics, so it's possible that his mechanics allowed him to get Epidemius, but it's also possible that the AI got him when he was defeated. It works for me to get defeated legendary lords. It also works for the AI. So, which is actually kind of cool, because sometimes you'll defeat these legendary lords and then you'll find yourself facing them later on. So I kind of like it, being a two-way street there. Okay, so yeah, Epidemius is standing right behind there. We should be able to take him out. Malakai levels up again. And let's get his skill point. I'm going to drop another one, an inspirational leader here. And let's see, the building upgrades. We don't have the growth that we need in the airship yet. We're at level 10, that's good. So we're growing rather significantly, but we got a ways to go. I don't really need any of these other buildings at the moment. We just need to get all the way up to the level 5 airship. Let's go back over. Take a look. I think Thorgrim, yeah, he already moved for this turn. And let's see here. Yeah, so Thorgrim can move on the next turn. Commandment available. Can add control. Tariffs. And tariffs would be good, but we're not really trading a lot. But I think that's... yeah, it's faction-wide. Trade tariffs would actually be quite nice. Control and anti-corruption is also nice, but honestly, we could use some trade tariffs. The corruption has kind of been an issue as well. But we'll deal with it as we go. All right, time to end another one. Well, I knew these guys were going to come be annoying here, and I can't stop them this turn, but they will be stopped here very shortly by one of my armies. This is the one that's the same either way you pick. So let's do that. And let's see. Oh, we got a plague with Malakai's army. Fantastic. Freaking Epidemius and his sorry can. We're going to lose 10 weapon string, 15% speed, and 4 attack. Okay. It's 4 turns. Infectivity, 6% spread chance. Immunity duration for Nurgle forces instead of 5 turns. Okay. Whatever, Epidemius. Come here, you fat fart. You're going down. Alright, well, we caught Ugly. And we're going to give him the cannon spa treatment, so I'll see you all on the map. All right, of course, if we're anywhere downwind, we can smell our enemies from quite the distance. And we're going to try and bring them in closer using our gyrocopters, as we typically do. This Rotfly does not have ranged attack, though we do have to watch out for this Centaur right there. They've actually got a pretty good range on those throwing axes. I'm going to kind of dodge that a little bit and try and draw these units backwards. We are pretty quick, but I think we got hit by something that poisoned us there. I mean, if the rotflies touched us, then the contact poison effect would have gotten us, but we're going to pull all them back here. We definitely have the entire army realizing that you might as well come back here to play because you can't stay away at range. And those rotflies are about to get woken up by some thunders and other units. They're in really tight pursuit here, though. I'm going to see if I can pull the copters back through to create some openings for my guns. I've got to keep pulling those units out in front of me here. I've got to give my guns an angle on them, I guess. Okay, now they're trying to turn around and dive bomb my units. Let's blast these guys. And let's pull our gyros back inside the safety of our line here. Okay, the rotflies are going to be gone. We hit that other rotfly unit really hard. And let's see. I'm actually going to group. Oh, let's target down this beast of Nurgle. Awesome, taking out those Centaurs. The Slayer pirates aren't near as good in melee, but I do love their ability to reach out and hit people with missiles from a fairly safe distance. Let's go ahead and start firing on these. Let's bring the airship in as well. Those jerk rotflies are just going to go straight for my Grudge Raker, so I'm going to pull back through my units there. That beast of Nurgle got absolutely destroyed. There's one more headed our way, and then we need to give Epidemius an unwarm welcome here. Is this thing good against a single... good against large combatants? Epidemius is rather large. So we'll wake him up here. Cook off some of these abilities. There we go, and then let's find Epidemius in the mix here. We're gonna need some reinforcements up here. I'm actually gonna turn this unit over there because there should be some nice targets for us, and our Thunderers. Woo! Felix is getting cooked out here. He is getting absolutely battered. Gotrek is holding his own rather nicely, but Felix is not. Let's throw a Cinder Blast Cluster Bomb in here. Okay, give Felix a break for crying out loud here. Epidemius is all over him like a plague, pun intended. Just finish these guys off. And I'm gonna be lucky to get Felix away from this fat crap. Come on! Leave me the heck alone. I think Epidemius found himself a romance there with Felix, because he was all over that guy. He has anti-infantry, so it makes a lot of sense why Felix was getting crapped on there. Oh, the Warriors are Dragonfire Pass getting destroyed. It's a Chosen of Nurgle with Great Weapon. No wonder they were getting destroyed. Well, there we go. Is a victory. And we are going to drive away the forces of Nurgle with extreme damage. There is a single Exalted Hero getting away from us over here. Do we have the range to put a shot on him before he's out? I'd love to kill that guy. Yeah, Gotrek held his own up in there nicely. But it was rough on the others. And then this Slayer Pirate here almost kicked the bucket too, but they managed to do overall very well. There goes the cannon fire. Ooh, someone tagged him. Grog Rune Smasher. Okay, he's gone. So there we go. I think we did some very nice damage to the armies for Nurgle. Well, these cannons are very nice tools now. With the Grape Shot, they're great against infantry heavy or missile heavy stacks. And with the long range and damage, they're fantastic against single entity threats as well. So I love the flexibility that we get out of our cannons right now. That is a lot of replenishment. It's also a fair bit of money in Oath Gold. I'm gonna go ahead and take it. We might need to fall back into our own territory or go into the airship stance to replenish. I think the airship stance will do it. Yep, and then we'll replenish quite nicely from the airship stance. If they have another army hiding just out of sight, we could end up in a little bit of trouble here. We've got that plague. For all I know, we picked up another one there. So we are going to have to deal with that plague, making us a little bit weaker, but because we do so much range damage here, I think we'll be okay. Let's go with an inspirational leader again.
What?
Blade shield. Blade shield. And let's see. We got 11,000. So where are we at on growth on the airship? Airship's up to 11 on growth. And we've got a fair bit of money again, so we could make one of those upgrades, but we could also do stuff elsewhere.
How can I help?
This army is not going to be able to reach those guys in a single turn, unfortunately, so I may send them into, kind of a hidden stance there. And let's start getting some revenge for these grudges of taking over my territory while I'm not here to guard it, which in my book is a grudge of all grudges. One that irritates me beyond belief and that I'm highly passionate about. Look at that, we're almost about to be done with this adventure as well. So we're going to retake our port settlements. They're going to be hard to hold because we're at war with Daniel now. We've got our Archaon up here. We've got a lot of fronts to cover. That is one challenge I think about Malakai Start. His army is very powerful, and you're not going to have a lot of trouble with the army. His territory might be a little trickier to hold unless you can get allies. Like, for instance, to our south, we're great. I need these guys to push harder. I think that some of them have military access. Let's go to...
We greet you.
Yeah, they've got military access. They're just not at war with the same people as me. Unfortunately, they are at war with the World Walkers, which is somewhat helpful if they're actually out fighting them. But we need the rest of these factions to be in our wars up here, which really means we would ideally want to be working towards like a military or defensive alliance so that they get pulled into our wars and they can actually come fight with us. So look, if you look at the Great Orthodoxy, for instance, they are fairly close to wanting to deal with us. In fact, let's see how much I'm gonna go ahead and pull them in defensive alliance. This means that they would get pulled into wars with me potentially, so let's propose that offer, and we'll see if we can use that to build up our relationship with other factions here. Tamarkan wants peace, which means that he's got nothing. If he's asking for peace, then he knows that we're about to destroy him, and that means that I'm going to go ahead and destroy him just to make sure there's nothing else he can do. Plus, we get some animals and stuff over here that'd be useful. I don't want to have to go all the way over here to the far east, but I might have to move up here into these mountains and kill off Tamarkan, at least for now. So, in any case, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Pretty good episode. I was obviously worried about this. I can't be in 3 places at once. It's kind of our big issue, so we're going to just be ping-ponging for a while here. But hopefully we can get Kastalton and others to move through here a little and help us out. So I'll see you all soon with some more action with Malakai Makaisson, Heir of Carthage, signing out.